Hi there, boys and girls, and welcome back to Conquering Math, where it all adds up. Today we will be learning about the order of operations. Let's dive on in. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to use PEMDAS to apply the order of operations when evaluating multi-step expressions. The Common Core State Standard today is 6EE1. Before we get started, we need to discuss a few key vocabulary terms. The first is algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step guide to solve a particular type of problem. Some examples of algorithms that you already know are the multi-digit multiplication and division algorithms. Next is order of operations. The order of operations is an algorithm that we use to evaluate expressions involving multiple operations. And next is PEMDAS. PEMDAS is an acronym that is useful to remember the order of operations. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. How do we use PEMDAS? Well, first we take a look at the P. P stands for parentheses. First, you have to complete any operations inside of parentheses. If there are multiple sets of parentheses, start on the inside and work your way to the outside. Next is E. This stands for exponent. You need to evaluate any terms containing exponents, starting from the left and moving to the right. Next are the M and the D, which stand for multiply and divide. Multiplication and division happen simultaneously, starting from the left and moving to the right. And finally, we have the A and the S, which stand for add and subtract. Addition and subtraction happen simultaneously, again starting from the left and moving to the right. Here are a few helpful hints that you might want to use when working on order of operations problems. It helps to write PEMDAS at the top of your page before starting an assignment so that you can always refer back to it. When you are first getting started, you may want to write the actual words next to the letters, like an acrostic poem. And finally, circling the M and D and the A and S together will help you to remember that they are completed simultaneously. Example number 1. Evaluate the following expression. 15 minus 2 times 6. The first thing that I did was to write PEMDAS down the side of the page. There are no parentheses or exponents in this problem, so we can skip over the P and the E and move straight to M and D, which are multiplication and division. The only multiplication or division in this problem is 2 times 6, which is 12. So now we have 15 minus 12. Next, we move on to addition and subtraction. 15 minus 12 is 3, so that is our answer. When we are first learning about the order of operations, it's important to go back and talk about some mistakes to avoid. So let's see how our answer would change if we didn't use PEMDAS and just worked from left to right. 15 minus 2 times 6. If we moved from left to right, we would first do 15 minus 2, which is 13. Then we would multiply this by 6 and find an answer of 78. Notice that our answer is very different. It is important to use PEMDAS to make sure that we find the correct answer. Example number 2. Evaluate the following expression. 6 times in parentheses 7 minus 4 divided by 9. It's important to note that the 6 pushed up right against the parentheses is a way of showing that you should multiply 6 times whatever is inside the parentheses. So we'll start by writing PEMDAS on the side of the page, and P comes first, so we'll start with the operations inside of the parentheses. 7 minus 4 is 3, so we now have 6 times 3 divided by 9. E comes next, but there are no exponents here, so we move on to M and D for multiplication and division. We move from left to right. 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 9 is 2. There is no addition and subtraction, so we're done. Our answer is 2. Example number 3. Evaluate the expression. 7 squared minus 4 times 5 in parentheses plus 10. Write down PEMDAS on the side. P comes first, so we start with the parentheses. 4 times 5 is 20, so we now have 7 squared minus 20 plus 10. Next is E for exponents, so we need to evaluate any terms that contain an exponent. 7 squared is 49, so we have 49 minus 20 plus 10. There is no multiplication or division, so we can skip that step. So now we move on to addition and subtraction. Remember that we must move from left to right. 49 minus 20 is 29, plus 10 is 39. This is our final answer. Example number 4. You are buying tickets for the local amusement park. Each ticket costs $12 for adults, $10 for teenagers, and $6 for children ages 12 and younger. There are 4 adults, 3 teenagers, and 5 younger children going to the park. What is the total cost for the group to go to the amusement park? The easiest way to turn this word problem into a mathematical expression is to break it into parts. If we find the cost for all of the adults, plus the cost for all of the teenagers, plus the cost for all of the children, we will find the total cost. The mathematical expression looks like this. $12 times 4 adults, plus $10 times 3 teenagers, plus $6 times 5 children. Write PEMDAS on the side of the page. Notice that there are no parentheses and no exponents, so we can move straight to multiplication and division. 12 times 4 is 48, then 10 times 3 is 30, and then 6 times 5 is also 30. So now our expression looks like this. $48 plus $30 plus $30. Now we can move on to addition and subtraction, moving from left to right. $48 plus $30 plus $30 is $108. So it will cost $108 for the whole group to go to the amusement park. Today you learned how to use PEMDAS to apply the order of operations when evaluating multi-step expressions. The Common Core State Standard today was 6EE1. Now that you are familiar with these techniques, complete the independent practice problems in your guided notes packet. Then watch the independent practice solutions video to check your work. Thanks for watching this episode of Conquering Math, where it all adds up. I'll see you next time.